Time for the best player at every nation at the Qatar World Cup.
Hey Theo, I've just been down the One Stop and I've been buying these Pudsey Bear collectibles and they are brilliant. BBC Children in Need is back. There's Pudsey, he's playing football, he's playing cricket, he's got a horse there.
You've gone back to being a kid. You've lost the plot.
Everyone,
why are you addicted to collectibles?
How can you not love Pudsey Bear and Children in Need?
You're a baby.
Get your hands in your pocket.
No, you're a baby. Why have you turned into this? You're a grown man. You've got kids.
I know.
A family to feed and you're worried about collectibles.
Children in Need.
Big up BBC Children in Need. They've sent us this pack. You can go and collect your own 9. By the way, there's only 5,000 of these, so good luck. Get down your local One Stop. Let's crack straight into the video.
Starting with Group A, and it's got to be Ecuador
So,
first.
no, what did you just say? You did, right?
Yeah, I just said Ecuador there. But Ecuador, it's Moses Caicedo, isn't it, Theo? He's come to Brighton for £4.5 million. That's a deal.
Sorry.
It's a steal.
Is it in
it's
shop?
Sale of the century.
Every time Moses Caicedo plays, I think he's drinking Prime. Because this gives you hydration and energy. And Caicedo is all over the pitch. He is also my best player for Ecuador. He's not just the best for Brighton. He's wanted by the best. He's been linked with loads of top 6 Premier League clubs. He is by far the best at Ecuador.
And the Netherlands, it's got to be Matthijs de Ligt, Theo. He went from Ajax to Juventus to Bayern Munich. At Ajax, age 19, he was a captain in the Champions League. He is a legend at centre-back.
So why have you picked him?
Theo, he achieved so much at an early age. He's still a kid as well.
Achieved? My centre-back Dutch pick has won a Premier League, a Champions League, an FA Cup, a Super Cup. Virgil van Dijk is the best Dutch player. Fact.
I tell you what, I would love to have those two in any team.
No one's talking about Frenkie de Jong and De Ligt and Virgil van Dijk, but sometimes that's what builds a team together when the pressure's off, right?
Let us know in the comments whether you agree with us. Qatar, and it's got to be Akram Afif Theo. Now, he's a left winger, a very experienced player. Scored 24 goals for his country.
Yeah.
He's played in several European countries.
Well, I saw his record for Al Sadd. 78 goals in 124 games. If he can reincorporate that form into the Qatar World Cup, I think they'll find a few goals. And they're an underrated nation. They're going to be hosting the tournament, so I know they're going to come up with some big wins.
Senegal, it's got to be Sadio Mane. He's
Obvious.
30 years old, and for that reason, 30,000 likes.
Dad, when have we ever got 30,000 likes?
TDL, Theo.
No.
And it's the World Cup, so 30,000
Just
likes.
because Sadio Mane is 30 years old doesn't mean you should predict. There's not a chance. I mean, if we get 30,000 likes, I'll do a follow back spree to everybody that follows me the video this day goes live. But we do agree Sadio Mane is the best player for Senegal.
He's scored 33 goals for his country.
Yeah.
He's developed well, hasn't he, over the years, from Southampton to Liverpool to Bayern Munich, smashing it in the Bundesliga.
2-time Africa Player of the Year winner. He's won AFCON. He's won the Premier League. He's won the Champions League. When the pressure's on and you've got all the cameras around the world watching you and you're scoring goals, you can do it. I think if anyone's going to save Senegal and sneak a second place in Group A, he's going to be the man to do it.
Group B and England, and it's got to be
Jude
captain,
Bellingham.
leader,
Jude.
legend, Harry Kane. 51 goals for England there. He's a big match player.
The obvious pick. Everyone's going to go and say Harry Kane's the best England player. But come on. Right now, it's Jude Bellingham. Who makes more of a difference on the England pitch when you watch them?
In 4 years' time, it could be Jude Bellingham. Without
4 years?
Harry Kane, we are nothing.
In 2 months, we could be saying Jude Bellingham. When we bring it home for Christmas, he could be the man to do it. He could be player of the tournament if he wants to be.
You're going to jinx us if you keep talking about bringing it home. I know that Beadle's about and that you've picked Harry Kane.
I have picked Harry Kane.
Of course you have.
Jude soon come, though. Jude soon come. But, I mean, we could speak about it all day, Harry Kane. Like, if Erling Haaland wasn't so good, we'd be speaking more about how good Harry Kane's been this season. 11 goals in 14 games. Different forwards around him. Kulusevski being out one stage. Missing Richarlison. Missing Heung-min Son. So the fact he's still scoring goals against the best shows how good and clinical he is.
Iran now, and it's got to be Ryan Tafazoli, our mate from Milton Keynes. Get him in the squad there.
Yes. If Ryan Tafazoli is picked for Iran, like we discussed in Prem Predictions, he needs to be the best.
And if he's not picked, we have to go with Mehdi Taremi, don't we?
Yeah.
Who has been superb for Porto. Kind of a goal a game for them almost.
Well, he's scoring goals for fun for Porto. He's in his prime, just turned 30, and he's got a great record for country. Maybe he'll edge it against Ryan Tafazoli. I would put him up with Serdar Azmoun. but he's gone to Leverkusen and had consistent injury problems. He might even miss the World Cup. Puts the debate to bed. Mehdi Taremi, the best.
And now for the United States of the America, and I've
Yes.
gone over to Leeds for Brendan Aronson,
Dad.
Theo. 22-year-old attacking midfielder, come from Salzburg.
No.
He is a special plug.
What about the LeBron James of soccer ball? Captain America. It's Christian Pulisic, right? It's got to be Christian Pulisic.
Not anymore. Tyler Adams, maybe.
Yes, I'd put him down.
No
How
way.
do you know? How do you know I put him down?
I thought you might, actually.
Tyler Adams is my pick. 23 years old, a regular in the Premier League. So that for me outweighs Christian Pulisic. Big up Jesse Marsh for developing these two talents.
Wales now, and I've gone for a 21-year-old second striker called Brennan Johnson from Nottingham Forest there. I've gone young.
No!
The obvious
you're a mug!
one is Gareth Bale.
Your ball knowledge
So
is
obvious.
dusted. It's Gareth Bale.
No, move on, Theo.
Why?
Move on.
He is the
Move
best
on
player
to the
in the
next
Welsh shirt.
generation.
Look what he's doing in the MLS Cup finals. He scored a 128th minute to make it 3-3, then scored the winning
wait.
penalty to make them win the MLS.
So you're comparing the MLS with the Premier League?
I'm talking about a man
Embarrassing.
that you could put in any league, put him in La Liga, Champions League,
Yeah.
Tottenham's side, the World Cup last time, the Euros. Doesn't matter where you throw him in, he can develop and play to that standard. He'll adapt. And actually, whilst all the Premier League players like Brennan Johnson are getting tired and overworked around their team with training, this boy is playing golf in America, vibing to the MLS, scoring last-minute winners, winning cups, and then he's going to be fresh for the World Cup.
Now for Group C in Argentina, and I've gone for a player who's on his way to Inter Miami. He's still smashing it
here we
in
go.
the French League. He's smashing it in the Champions League. He's smashing it for his country. 90 goals in a glittering career. It is the one, the only...
Leo. But hold on. The MLS is only bad when you want it to be, because Inter Miami is the same league that Gareth Bale's playing in.
Yes, but he's playing in the French League as of this season.
Yeah,
And
so
he's
what?
still performing at the highest
You
level.
always say how bad the French league is. You think Ronaldo's your goat?
I don't know. You're the one who calls it a farmers' league.
I
It's
say
fine.
that it's a brilliant league and it gives Messi great competition, who is the GOAT after all.
Only when they sponsor you. The rest of the time you're like, it's a farmers' league.
The only thing sponsoring me is Prime. Leo Messi's still in his prime at 35 years old, and that's something Ronaldo can never do.
Mexico, I've gone for Edson Alvarez, Theo. Now, you know how I like a defensive midfielder. He
Yeah.
is a DM at Ajax. I know they're not having the most brilliant of seasons, but I really rate this player. Do you agree?
Well, he's constantly linked with Premier League clubs. I can't say I've watched him a fair amount to comment. I have picked someone who I watched this season drop a masterclass in a Champions League match against Ajax, Irving Lozano.
Okay. Now, I like Lozano, Theo, but he's not starting every week, is he, for Napoli?
When I watched him for Napoli, he started
Yes.
and he scored a goal and created one. And it was a lovely finish, 1-2 with the player. I think in a World Cup, when you've got a guy with that much pace on the wing, he's going to cause damage.
Mexico are ranked 13 in the world by FIFA. They've got an outside chance. Poland, and it's got to be Matty Cash. I mean, he's a really good defender, isn't he? Theo?
It's obviously Matty Cash.
Yeah. But if it wasn't Matty Cash, then
Yeah.
I might just give it to a lad called
Zielinski.
Lewandowski.
What? Who's that?
Lewandowski.
Nobody knows you. Nobody in Europe's ever heard of you.
Yeah, thanks, Theo. He's getting a goal a game, isn't he, at Barcelona?
Well,
He's still brilliant at the age
I'll
of
take
34.
back my words. Nobody in the Champions League has ever heard of you because he won't be playing in that. Bye-bye. Apart from Zielinski, I feel like everyone in Poland's dropping howlers. Of course, Robert Lewandowski. How many goals is he going to score at the World Cup? Can he win the Golden Boot?
He can, Theo. The trouble is he's playing for Poland. I'm not sure how far they're going to go.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to score 2 goals. Saudi Arabia, it's Salim Al-Darsori, Theo. Now, he has had 53 caps, has got 15 goals. He actually played once for Villarreal.
Wow, that's cool. I've seen his record for country, 17 goals in 68 games. Really solid for a winger. He plays in the 10 shirt. 31, but he's got that experience for country and for club, and I think he can bring that potential and understand the temperament as well.
Yes.
The Saudi Arabians will be used to the conditions of what we're going to see in Qatar.
Australia now, and it's got to be a central midfielder, 32
Yes.
years old, called Aaron
Jason
Boy.
Cummings, what?
And guess what, Theo? He's played for some very good teams. Bolton Wanderers.
Oh, he's a Bolton player. Okay, I take
Manchester
it back.
City. He's played for... Oh, who else has he
Huddersfield,
played
Brighton, Celtic.
for? Yes.
He's been
yes.
all over the British clubs.
He just brings this energy. He's combative. He's a hard worker for the team.
Australia played Denmark and France at the Russia World Cup, so
Yes.
they've got experience in this competition. And Aaron Moy played 90 minutes in both those games.
He did.
So he brings that to the team. The Socceroos recently added my boy, Jason Cummings.
Yeah, the cum dog.
Cumdog, he's in the team, and I actually think he will cause a threat.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him score a goal in Qatar.
Denmark now, and I've gone obviously for a legend of the game. He scored 39 goals for his country from attacking midfield, Christian Eriksen. Theo, what a legend.
I'm going to go different, and I'll probably get roasted for this. Everyone's going to point the finger at Christian Eriksen as being the best. I'm going to just say Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
And you would be wrong, Theo, because we've seen Denmark, and there's one player who stands out above the crowd.
Okay, I know.
And it's Christian Eriksen, for creativity, for everything. He's an astonishing footballer.
The man who's going to play 90 minutes consistently for Denmark, and he'll play the biggest factor. That's why I picked Højbjerg.
He's a very good, very solid player, Theo, and I like him, I respect him, but Eriksen is different.
But the way he's developed at Spurs, playing in European competitions and always turning up and being Conte's man in the midfield, no matter what, no matter the weather, you can't say the same about Eriksen this season.
France now, we don't have to argue about this
No, we
one,
don't.
because we're going to choose one of the best players in the world. 23 years old, Kylian Mbappe. The man is magnificent.
Problem with your answer, and the reason you're wrong, is you used the words one of the best players. I'm picking the best. The Ballon d'Or winner makes you the best footballer in the world, correct?
No, that is decided by a panel.
No, it
doesn't make
it's
you the
award.
best
No,
player.
what you're awarded for being the best player that year out of any footballer in the world.
So you're going to say in a minute, Karim Benzema,
I am the
aren't you?
34-year-old who will go into this tournament being the best player in the world, not just France.
He's
so,
the Ballon d'Or winner, but I would argue that's not always
Dad,
right.
this is probably the final year we'll say this. Kylian Mbappe will be running away from this award for years to come. Right now, the best is Karim the Dream.
And I'm a massive fan of Benzema and what he's achieved over the years, Theo. I think he's a wonderful player. But Kylian Mbappe is different level. He's different gravy, Theo.
Well, he doesn't have the same trophy cabinet.
So if you were manager, owner of a team, and you were offered one or the other, Benzema or Mbappe...
Here's the problem. I know you bring it up. Deschamps. He has a disrespect for Benzema.
Yeah.
He doesn't like playing him. He'd rather play Olivier Giroud. I think this year they need to figure a way of fitting him into the system.
Tunisia, it's got to be Elas Sekiri. I hope I pronounced that right. Now,
Yeah.
he plays for Cologne, Theo, as a defensive midfielder. Does all the hard work. The problem is, he's got a fractured cheekbone. Will he be back for the World Cup?
This is the problem. If he's not in that Tunisia squad, they're screwed. He's so good for Cologne. I've watched him this season. He's the hard man in midfield.
Yes.
He'll clear up for you. He's a ball winner. But if Tunisia don't have that, I can't see them holding out results like they did against England in the first match of the World Cup. That game was 0-0 for ages, and he was a big role of that.
Costa Rica, I've gone with a right winger. It's Joel Campbell, the ex-Arsenal man who scored 25 goals for his country. Theo, you've got to agree with me here.
You're a mug. Where did you find out this research? Why have you gone with Joel? It's so obviously Keylor Navas.
Oh, you've gone for Keylor Navas. What a
The
surprise.
35-year-old, I know he doesn't play for PSG, but that's another reason why he's going to be the best. This is an audition to show the world how good he is. Dad, this is Costa Rica versus PSG. How are you
In his
comparing
day,
the two?
He's an absolute legend in his country, but I've gone with a guy a little bit younger,
Dad,
still firing the goals.
You have
Joel
been
Campbell.
thogdad common L's in this video. I'm sorry.
Germany now, and I'm going for a player who Chelsea once sold for £180,000. He's now one of the most expensive players in the world. 19 years old, Jamal Musiala. What an astonishing talent.
Dad, we're talking about the best, not the best potential. The one with the biggest ceiling.
He is a superb player. You've seen him this season for Bayern Munich.
I know Musiala's great, but he's not the best for Germany. What does Tony Rudiger need for you to pick him? He's gone from Chelsea, like Musiala did.
Good player.
But he's gone from Chelsea, a Champions League winning side, to Champions League winning Real Madrid. He's a centre-back. I don't think he could be any better as a centre-back. He is by far, for me right now, the best player in Germany. Up there with Kimmich, who's fallen off a little bit. I don't know how you can say Musiala yet. Maybe in the future, but right now he's not even as good as Jude Bellingham.
Japan, and it's got to be Daichi Kamada, hasn't it, Theo?
Spot on.
The lad from Eintracht Frankfurt. He's absolutely tearing it up this season.
I'd say a couple of years ago he would have said Minamino, but I don't even know where the guy's playing right now.
Think about Kamada. Historically, he's more of an assister. He's more of a creator. This season, he's getting more goals, I notice.
He's a friggin' baller, and I saw that in the Europa League final. I think he played a big role for them to win it whilst
Yes.
I was there at Frankfurt Rangers, and like you said, he's scoring more goals, playing in a more attacking role in the Bundesliga this season, helping them climb the table, maybe sneak a Champions League spot for Eintracht Frankfurt.
Spain, and I've gone over to the Etihad for that man, Rodri, a defensive midfielder, one of the best players in the Premier League. 2 Premier League trophies in a row. You've got to agree with me here.
No, I don't actually. I'm going for Pedri, the 19-year-old central midfielder who will partner him.
Pedri over Rodri. Now, again, I know it's different positions there, but come on,
Not far
please.
off. Look, I think Rodri is one of the best holding mids in the world, but I also think Pedri, as an 8, is one of the best in the world at that role. I think Spain's midfield is one of the best going in the world. It's hard to compare as the different roles. Dad, he's the diamond in the rough of that Barca team. He's the only thing going for them where they can say, well, you know what? He's actually a ridiculous academy talent and he can turn this club around.
Belgium. Well, sometimes this job is very, very easy, Theo, because it's Kevin De Bruyne, one of the most creative and amazing players in world football.
It's got to
Full
be
stop.
Romelu Lukaku, Thogdad.
Yeah, nice one, Theo.
He'll go down as maybe the best attacking midfielder in the world ever. Who beats him? Who beats him? Who can ever say that they did a better job in their career than De Bruyne? He just needs to win the Champions League. He won't win the World Cup with this team. It's too old.
Let's agree on Kevin De Bruyne and say that Belgium have a chance, an outside chance. Canada now, and it's got to be a lad who was actually born in a refugee camp in Ghana, Theo. It's an incredible backstory.
Yeah.
22 years old, Fonzie, Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, incredible. 22 years old, still improving. He's had a bit of an injury blip, as we know at the start of the season, but come back into the team and smashed it. And I think he actually plays like a 10 or as a winger for Canada, a completely different position because he's that vital to the team. I think that's amazing. So the best player, but special mention to Jonathan David as well. If he can link up with him, there's going to be a lot of goals.
Croatia now, and the man we're going to talk about is 37 years old, but he's still brilliant. He's the creative hub for Real Madrid. He's the creative hub for Croatia. It's Luka Modric.
There's no doubt in my mind it's Luka Modric as well.
Yeah.
He's probably the best player I've ever watched live consistently.
Yes.
8 to 10 out of 10.
I mean, you love going to Madrid, don't you? One of the reasons is watching players like that.
Luka Modric, Benzema, and it's always the older guys that seem to do it in the big moment. They've got a good quality experience side.
Well, they came very close last time. Morocco, Achraf Hakimi. End of story.
End of story. Why do we even need to discuss this one?
I mean, he's smashing it for PSG, isn't he?
Yeah, and Morocco don't have an array of talent on the level of Hakimi, so it's the easiest option of the day. Really good player. They should play him right wing and forget fullback.
Brazil now. We're going to talk about a man who might be on his way to Chelsea. His name is Neymar. 75 goals for his... Have you heard this rumour?
No, I haven't.
Neymar 2's Chelsea. Honestly, you heard it here first.
That's unbelievable. They have an array of talent. Everybody is born to kick ball on the streets, no matter what. They know football better than their own family. But Neymar is the best, and I've got a lot of respect for him.
Yes.
And I really want to see him do well. I think Brazil have a great chance of winning the World Cup. He is still the best.
Cameroon, it's got to be Brian Mbeumo.
Absolutely.
He's only actually played twice for Cameroon, for his country. But he's come to Brentford and he's really learned his trade, hasn't he?
He smashed it. He's a Premier League regular now. I even met him after one game.
Did you?
Really good lad.
Serbia, it has to be Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, doesn't it, from Lazio. He's having a wonderful season. He's getting a goal or an assist virtually every game this season.
Does it have to be him?
Yes, it does. If you talk to any Serbian, although there's one other name that might come up.
Some will say Vlahovic.
Yes.
I'm going to go...
No, I wouldn't say Vlahovic.
Alexander Mitrovic.
Genuinely, yeah?
As a Premier League fan, maybe I've got bias. I do not watch Milinkovic-Savic and the price tag that Lazio put him in. Unfortunately, I won't ever get to watch 90 minutes of him every week. But to see a man score 9 goals in 12 games for Fulham, who have one of the smallest squad depths and transfer values in the league, so they are already measured down compared to the rest, and to come away with such a great goal scoring record, to score the goal to send your nation against Portugal to go to the World Cup.
Yes.
He is the best.
Switzerland now, and a man who's gone through adversity and he's come back stronger. It's Granit Xhaka, Theo. You've got to agree with that.
It's going to be a cracking game when Serbia plays Switzerland, right?
Oh my goodness.
I also
Granit Xhaka is of Albanian descent. And he has a little bit of beef there, shall we say.
A little bit of beef. I think there's a few Swiss lads that have that same link as well. So it'll be a fiery encounter. Expect yellow cards. But I do agree the best player for Switzerland is Granit Xhaka, and what a season he's having with Arsenal.
Group H now. Let's talk about Ghana. Let's stick with Arsenal because it has to be Thomas Partey, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I mean, it could be Inaki Williams, who will score the goals, has done that for years in La Liga for Athletic Bilbao. However, Thomas Partey, he has smashed it. Next to Granit Xhaka, who we just mentioned, for Arsenal, his teammate.
That's a brilliant midfield too this season, isn't it? A lot of people underestimated Arsenal at the start of the season. Portugal now, and I'm not going to go for Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to go for a man who's been in his shadow for a long time, and that is Bruno Fernandes. And for a short while, we forgot how good he is there. Every 3 games, he's going to get a goal, he's going to get an assist. He's a match winner. Not
just a wonderful footballer, a wonderful guy. I met him after United Chelsea, asked him for a picture. He waited behind just to say hello to me.
We spotted him, didn't we, before he came from Manchester United.
My number 1 for Portugal right now, on current ability, is Ruben Diaz.
Okay.
Because if you're a regular in that Pep Guardiola team, you have done something nobody else can. Cancelo is a close second, but Ruben Diaz, his position is never taken at centre-back.
South Korea, and I think you know what I'm going to say. Now, this lad is an injury doubt, isn't he?
Yeah.
He wasn't playing for Spurs at the weekend, Heung-min Son, and when he's not playing, you miss him, don't you?
I like Heung-min Son, I think he's great, but the best player for South Korea is Hwang Ki-chan.
Oh, right, Theo, and that's another of your
Dad, he's the
jokes.
Wolves' best ever.
Nobody can score for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oh, you got it all wrong, Dad. You got it all wrong.
Praise Heung-min Son.
I'm joking. Of course it's Heung-min Son. But he might be injured for it. It's such a shame.
Because he's simply one of the best players in the world.
Forget South Korea. The world needs him.
Yes.
What a player. Special mention to Kim Min-jae and Napoli, because he is actually one of the best players and deserves a lot more respect.
And finally, Uruguay. It has to be Federico Valverde, doesn't it, Theo? We've not gone for many central midfielders, but this lad, he's a bit special, isn't he?
He's something else, isn't he?
Yeah.
He set up the goal for Real Madrid to win the Champions League against Liverpool. And I think he'll have some really big moments at the World Cup for Uruguay. He's got in front of him Darwin Núñez, Luis Suarez and Cavani. I guess Cavani and Suarez won't get as many minutes because they're older, but there's a lot of depth and leadership skills. And do you remember last time Uruguay played Ghana?
Oh, there was that handball thing, wasn't there?
I can't wait for that again.
But Valverde, 24 years old. What I've noticed this season, Theo, his output, the number of goals, number of assists has gone up a lot. Whoever wins the World Cup next year, we go there.
Yeah, let's do it. Smashing. Thank you for watching this video. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.